Hey, this is Dino, and I want to walk you through setting up monitoring and alerting in Apigee X. It's a little bit different than in Apigee Edge. So here I've got my Apigee console inside Google Cloud Console. I've got a number of different APIs that are set up there. I've got some load being driven in, some synthetic load on a couple of those different API proxies, and that's just running in a window here. So what I would like to do is set up alerting on that particular, on a set of particular API proxies. So I want to go over to Google Cloud Monitoring. First thing I want to do is show you the Metrics Explorer. So you can click Metrics Explorer, turn off that active button, type in proxy, and you'll see metrics for Apigee proxy and V2. Ignore the V2. It's actually a misnomer that's older than the current thing. You should be using Apigee proxy. And you can see there's a number of different metrics. If you were going to do alerts on latency, this is the one you would use. If you were going to do alerts on error counts, you'd use some of these other different metrics. First thing we want to do is look at the line chart. So I'll select that latency, and then I can see the 50th percentile latency for this this set of API proxies. And if I want, I can filter on a particular proxy name. So I can select that one, for example, that ML logging example. And you can see I've got kind of a characteristic curve here for 50th percentile. If I want to go to 95th, I can see that as well. It kind of smooths out a little bit. And 99th, if I want to look at 5th percentile, it's going to be a little sloppier, down around the 13.5 millisecond range. All right, so this is just an explorer that lets you look at the metrics that you're being collected. To get alerts, you got to select the alerting and create an alert policy. So we're going to do the same metric. Click off active, make sure that's deselected. Type in proxy, you'll get, again, the Apigee proxy, select the latencies. At that point, you can select a filter, same kind of filter that we were looking at in the Explorer. And we can use a regular expression here. So, for example, you could do, that's a valid regex, and that's going to work. You can see on the right-hand side, it's actually working. If I had a number of different API proxies, that followed with a name that followed a specific pattern, I could do something like this. So that's a regular expression that says it starts with ml-logging, and then it has a bunch of other characters. We don't know what they are. That would be one way to match. Or you could do things like this, and type in a different kind of pattern, and then it's matching both of these API proxies, as you can see. So we can kind of keep that filter, and then we're going to do this on a 5-minute window. Maybe we want the alert to be on a P95 or P99. We sort of select what it is that we want, and then we're going to say there's going to be a threshold. So anything that violates, let's say, 540 milliseconds. And when we do that, on the right-hand side, you'll see the threshold kind of indicated right there on the chart, and I can see right at that moment is when I would have expected, if I had this alert in place, to receive an alert notification right at that moment. If I set this higher, you're going to see the threshold is above where the P95 reached. Even at its peak, it reached around 700 milliseconds. So if I set it to 750, I would not get an alert if I saw a traffic pattern that mirrored what I had seen a little bit in the past. So this is kind of how that works. So we'll set that in to be, I don't know, 540 milliseconds, and we'll say this is going to be a 540 millisecond P95. That's just the name of the condition that I'm setting up. And then it allows me to select notification channels. And in Google Cloud Alerting, there's a whole bunch of different options. Google Chat, Slack, webhooks, email, PagerDuty, SMS, PubSub, and so on. I already have an email notification set up. That's just to my own email, and I can set this up to be API latency exceeded threshold, something like that. And I can set that to be a warning, and I can also put in arbitrary text field for the text fields for the alert email. And then I can set this to be my alert policy for 2024 November 26. Let's just call it that. And this just gives me a summary of what would be falling under that alert now. So let's create that policy. And now it's in place. So pretty simple. You can also do this with an API, so you can automate the provisioning of these things, and you can modify the alerts and so on. What would an alert look like if this were actually triggered? Well, this is something that I received about 45 minutes ago, an alert on a similar, a notification on a similar alert that I had configured in the same system. And you can see this one I had set it a little bit lower, 400 milliseconds, and it's telling me, hey, we just saw that it was above that threshold. Here's the name of the API proxy. Here's the name of the organization. This is the text that I put in for the extra text in that one box. And then I can also click through from here to view the incident, or to view the thing in Apigee on this alert in email. Now, if you're using Slack or SMS, it's going to look different, obviously. But anyway, that's kind of how it would look for the notification. So that is it. That is how you can set up alerting in Google Cloud Monitoring for Apigee API proxies. I hope this helps.